So let's talk about your boss. The boss relationship creates challenges, doesn't it? Often at the beginning, you have some degree of choosing your boss when you interview for a new job. During the interview, we have the opportunity to ask questions, get a sense of their leadership style and their expectations for us. However, we also know that the person you report to over time changes as people are promoted or move on. So suddenly we find ourselves working for people that we don't even know and that we would not have chosen. We don't like their leadership style or their competency level, or they're just bringing in their favorites, which makes us uncomfortable. And this experience leads us to feeling isolated at work as you work for someone for which you have minimal connection. And it just saps the joy out of work. So how do you keep your sanity with the constant changing of bosses? You have to focus on your perspective. Christ's teachings provide great encouragement and strength for when we find ourselves grinding through a job. The Apostle Paul reminds us, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear and with sincerity of heart, just as you would obey Christ. Obey them not only to win their favor when their eye is on you, but like servants of Christ, doing the will of God from your heart. Serve wholeheartedly, as if you were serving the Lord, not men. Now let's dig a little deeper here. When Paul taught this radical idea, he used an illustration where a man had to give himself over to another to pay his debt, which made him an indentured servant. This person had to work for another person, irrespective of how he felt, because of his debt and contractual relationship. Now, our situations are very different. We just sell our time, not ourselves. And from this perspective, we should be able to follow these teachings. We work for the Lord. We focus so much on the boss in our daily experience, we forget this is not who we ultimately answer to as followers of Christ. Our standard of work is not just to please or tolerate our boss. We instead work to please the Lord. Working to please the Lord, we focus on doing good work, not the shortcomings of our boss. We don't look for shortcuts or minimal effort. We work wholeheartedly to complete work that honors Christ, which leads us to making sure we honor our commitment. Your work commitment is to the company, not simply to your boss. There is no guarantee that you will always have your favorite boss. You need to show up every day anyway with a sincere heart, ready to do the task at hand. You can be confident that you are doing the will of God. And then finally, do it with joy. As we follow Paul's teaching, we realize we don't let our work situation drive our enthusiasm or attitude. Instead, our love for Christ drives our attitude and enthusiasm at work. We are the ones who build others up, encourage them through our example, and lead the way with a joyful attitude. So take a moment for some self-reflection. Have you allowed your attitude about your boss to distract you from serving your Lord at work? See how great it is when Christ is in the workplace?